Welcome to another deep dive today,
Oh, yeah.
where we're exploring a fascinating topic,
Okay.
writing for happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And we're basing our dive today on an article from Rich Woman magazine called Writing to Make Every Day a Good, Happy Day, Emotional Resilience.
Oh, interesting.
So Rich Woman magazine, just for context,
Yeah,
is all about empowering women
right.
to thrive, not just financially,
Okay.
but in every aspect of life.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense that they would have an article about happiness through writing.
Yeah.
But we're talking about a readership that's likely juggling demanding careers,
Sure.
family life, social calendars.
Yeah.
It's not your average self-care audience.
I see.
So what does this article say is the magic formula?
Well, it lays out 5 key habits: practicing gratitude, reframing setbacks, incorporating mindful moments, nurturing connections, and celebrating wins.
Okay.
But what struck me is how the article connects these habits back to a core idea from positive psychology.
Oh, you mean the idea that our thoughts can actually shape our reality?
Yeah.
I've dabbled in that,
Uh-huh.
but honestly, sometimes it feels a bit simplistic.
Okay.
Like, can just thinking positive really change things?
That's a very valid question.
Yeah.
It's not about denying challenges,
Okay.
but rather about recognizing the power of our mindset.
Right.
The article cites Martin Seligman, one of the founders of positive psychology,
Oh, wow.
and his work emphasizes this link between our thoughts and our experiences.
Okay.
And there's actually a pretty compelling study from 2004 published in Psychological Bulletin that found optimists tend to be healthier
Okay.
and may even live longer.
Okay, that gets my attention.
Yeah.
Living longer, sign me up.
Right.
But how do you actually become more optimistic?
Right.
I mean, some of us are just wired to see the glass half empty, right?
It's not about changing who you are,
Of
rather
course.
developing skills to navigate life's ups and downs. Take the concept of reframing, which the article highlights.
Reframing.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not about pretending everything's perfect,
Okay.
but rather about finding the opportunity within the obstacle.
Reframing. So, like, if I'm stuck in traffic, which, let's be honest, happens to the best of us instead of getting all stressed out, I should try to see it as a chance to finally listen to that podcast I've been meaning to catch up on.
Exactly. It's about shifting your focus from what's frustrating to what's possible.
Okay.
And this ties into a fascinating theory called broaden and build by Dr. Barbara Fredrickson.
Broaden and build.
Her research shows that experiencing positive emotions,
Okay.
even during tough times, actually helps us broaden our thinking and build resilience.
So finding those little moments of joy, even when things are crazy, and writing about them, as the article suggests, can actually help me handle bigger challenges down the road.
Exactly.
That's actually pretty empowering.
It is. And speaking of empowering, let's dive into the article's focus on gratitude.
Gratitude.
Yeah, it's more than just a feel-good emotion.
Okay.
There's a ton of research showing the tangible benefits of gratitude for our well-being.
Okay, but isn't gratitude just like being thankful?
Yeah,
We all know that's a good thing, right?
it is, but the article goes beyond the surface.
Okay.
It talks about the practice of keeping a gratitude journal, which has been shown to increase happiness and decrease depression, according to a study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology.
Wow.
And it shares this amazing story of John Kralik.
John Crow.
Yeah, an author who wrote 365 thank you notes in a year
Oh, wow.
and completely turned his life around.
365 thank you notes. That's a commitment.
It is.
But it does make you think,
Sure.
maybe there's something more to this gratitude thing than just feeling vaguely thankful.
Yeah.
What's the science behind it anyway?
Well, studies have shown that gratitude actually triggers the release of dopamine and serotonin, those feel-good neurotransmitters in our brains.
Dopamine and serotonin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like creating a positive feedback loop. The more we practice gratitude, the more we prime our brains for happiness.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all connects. But what about when those inevitable tough times hit?
Right.
We can't just slap on a gratitude sticker and pretend everything's fine, right?
Yeah.
The article also talks about emotional regulation as being key to resilience.
Yeah.
And I admit that one's a bit trickier for me. You know?
I understand.
Yeah.
Emotional regulation isn't about ignoring or suppressing our feelings. It's about learning to process them in a healthy way so they don't overwhelm us.
So not pretending to be happy when you're not,
Sure.
but having the tools to navigate those tough emotions constructively.
Exactly.
Okay.
A 2015 study in the journal Emotion actually found that people who use emotional regulation strategies experience less anxiety and depression.
Wow.
The article gives the example of using mindful breathing during a stressful workday,
Okay.
which is something I think a lot of us can relate to.
Right. Because let's be honest, who hasn't had those moments where you just want to scream into a pillow during a crazy work week?
Yeah.
But is there really science behind something as simple as breathing? It seems a bit too...
Yeah, there is. Research from Harvard Medical School has shown that mindful breathing can actually activate the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of our brain responsible for,
Yep.
you guessed it, emotional regulation.
Wow.
And by activating that area, we're calming down the amygdala, the brain's emotional center.
Oh, wow.
It's like a mini mental vacation for your brain.
Interesting. So we've got positive mindset, gratitude, and emotional regulation, all pretty powerful tools for creating good days, as the article claims.
Right.
But there's one more piece of the puzzle I'm curious about. Before we dive deeper into that, we wanted to take a moment to remind you to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you're enjoying this deep dive. We put a lot of heart and soul into creating these episodes, and your support means the world to us.
We love sharing these insights with you, and we appreciate you being part of our community.
Connection with others.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we're not just talking about being happy hermits, right?
Absolutely not. Humans are social creatures, and the quality of our relationships has a huge impact on our well-being.
Sure.
The article even cites a study from the American Journal of Lifestyle Medicine published in 2020 that found strong social connections to be one of the strongest predictors of both happiness and longevity.
Okay.
And it makes you think about that famous Harvard study of adult development, which followed participants for over 75 years and concluded that ultimately it's our relationships that matter most for a happy and fulfilling life, more than wealth or fame.
But how does writing factor into all of this? Is it just about sending more emails?
That's where it gets really interesting.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's a great place to pick up in part 2 of our deep dive.
Awesome.
We'll explore how the act of writing itself can be a powerful tool for cultivating these habits and strengthening our emotional resilience. Stay tuned.
All right. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Last time we were unpacking these 5 powerful habits for creating good days: gratitude, reframing, mindfulness, connection, and celebrating wins.
Right.
All great in theory,
Yeah.
but I'm still a bit fuzzy on how writing actually helps us achieve those things.
Yeah.
Isn't it mostly just putting words on a page?
That's where the magic happens.
Oh.
Writing isn't just about documenting.
Oh,
It's
wow.
about actively processing and internalizing these positive habits.
Okay.
Think of it as exercise, but for your mind and emotional well-being.
Okay, I like the sound of mental exercise,
Yeah.
but can you give me a concrete example?
Sure.
Like with gratitude,
Yeah.
I get journaling,
Yeah.
but how does simply writing something down make me feel more grateful?
Because it shifts you from passively thinking about gratitude to fully experiencing it.
Okay.
When you write, you're forced to slow down, choose specific words, really savor the feeling you're trying to capture.
Yep.
It's like the difference between glancing at a beautiful sunset and actually sketching it.
Okay.
The second one makes you pay attention in a whole new way.
Ah, so it's about mindfulness, too.
It is.
I've tried those gratitude apps, but they always felt a bit superficial.
Okay.
Maybe I need to put pen to paper for it to really sink in.
That's a great insight.
Yeah.
And it applies to reframing setbacks as well.
Right.
Instead of just mentally trying to think positive,
Mm-hmm.
writing about a challenge allows you to explore it from different angles, almost like having a compassionate and insightful conversation with yourself on the page.
I can see that.
Yeah.
It's like when something bad happens,
Yeah.
our knee-jerk reaction is often to wallow in it.
Right.
But if I actually sat down and wrote about the situation,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'd uncover those hidden opportunities the article talks about.
Precisely.
Okay.
Writing provides that space for reflection and analysis.
Right.
It can help you disentangle the emotion from the event,
Mm-hmm.
see things more objectively,
Right.
and ultimately find a path forward. Plus, research shows that expressive writing about difficult experiences can actually reduce stress and improve mental health over time.
So journaling through a tough situation can be therapeutic.
It can.
I used to think journaling was just for angsty teenagers.
It's for anyone who wants to understand themselves better and build resilience.
Okay.
And let's not forget the power of writing for mindfulness.
Mindfulness.
Right, which the article highlights as a key habit for happiness.
Okay, but isn't mindfulness about being present in the moment?
It is.
How does writing, which often feels very mental and internal, help with that?
Because writing can be a deeply present experience.
Okay.
Especially when you focus on your senses.
Oh.
Imagine writing about your morning coffee, not just the taste, but the warmth of the mug,
Yeah.
the aroma filling the air,
Yeah.
the sound of the spoon clinking.
Okay.
Suddenly you're fully immersed in that moment,
Right.
not letting your mind wander to your to-do list.
Whoa. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
It's like taking a mental snapshot of a fleeting experience.
Right.
Savoring it before it disappears.
And those mini mindfulness exercises can add up to a calmer,
Okay.
more focused you overall.
Okay.
Plus, writing can be mindful in other ways, too.
Uh-huh.
Like when you're deeply engrossed in a creative project and lose all track of time,
Right.
that flow state is
Yes.
pure present moment magic.
Okay. You're making me want to ditch my phone and grab a notebook right now.
Yeah.
But what about connection?
Yeah.
I get how writing a heartfelt letter can strengthen a relationship.
Uh-huh.
But is there more to it than that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Think about how much of our communication today is rushed and superficial.
Okay.
Quick texts, social media posts.
Right.
Writing, especially in its longer forms,
Okay.
allows for a level of depth and authenticity that's hard to achieve otherwise.
It's true.
Yeah.
Sometimes I spend hours crafting the perfect Instagram caption.
Yeah.
But a handwritten note to a friend feels so much more genuine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those thoughtful gestures go a long way in deepening our connections.
Okay.
Plus, writing can help us connect more deeply with ourselves,
Mhm.
which is essential for building strong relationships with others.
Right.
Journaling, for example,
Okay.
can be a powerful tool for self-discovery and personal growth.
Wait, so writing can help me understand myself and other people better.
It can.
That's a win-win.
It is.
It's like that quote from Jung, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate.
I love that quote.
Yeah.
And writing can be that bridge between the conscious and unconscious,
Right.
allowing us to explore our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs in a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes what we uncover through writing can be surprising, even transformative.
Okay.
And that self-awareness is key to building stronger, more fulfilling relationships.
This is all making so much sense.
Good.
It's like writing unlocks the door to all these other habits and practices for happiness.
Right.
But if we're not all aspiring novelists,
Yeah.
how can we realistically make writing a part of our busy lives?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And I think it deserves its own dedicated exploration
Okay.
in our final segment.
Okay.
Let's dive into some practical tips and strategies for making writing a consistent and enjoyable part of your routine,
Right.
even amidst a hectic schedule.
Okay.
Because the benefits, as we've seen, are truly worth the effort.
Great. Welcome back to the deep dive.
Yeah.
It's time to put everything we've learned about writing for happiness into action.
Right.
I'm ready to turn these inspiring ideas into something tangible.
Yeah.
We've talked about those 5 habits:
Mm-hmm.
gratitude, reframing, mindfulness, connection, and celebrating wins.
Right.
But I'm eager to get specific.
Okay.
How can we actually weave those habits into our daily writing practice? My notebook is ready.
Okay, let's start with gratitude.
Gratitude.
We've discussed the gratitude journal, but you can go beyond that.
Okay.
Think about incorporating gratitude into other forms of writing.
Like what?
For example,
Yeah.
when writing an email, start by expressing appreciation for the recipient.
Okay.
Or, if you're working on a creative project,
Yeah.
take a moment to acknowledge the things that inspire you.
I love that idea.
Yeah?
It's like subtly infusing gratitude into every corner of our lives.
Right.
What about reframing setbacks?
Okay.
Things don't always go as planned, and sometimes it's hard to see the silver lining.
Yeah.
How can we use writing to shift our perspective during those tough moments?
One powerful technique is to write about the experience from a different point of view.
Okay.
Imagine you're an observer watching the situation unfold.
Okay.
What insights might they have that you're missing?
Yep.
Or try writing a letter to your future self,
Oh,
offering words of encouragement and advice based on what you've learned.
those are fantastic ideas.
Yeah.
It's like giving ourselves that much-needed pep talk, but in written form.
Right.
I can see how that would help process things and move forward.
Yeah.
Okay, what about mindfulness?
Okay.
We talked about how writing can be a mindful experience, but any tips on how to actually do that?
One simple way is to pay attention to your senses as you write.
Okay.
Describe the feeling of the pen on the paper or
Yeah.
the sound of the keys clicking. Notice the scent of the ink
Yeah.
or the taste of your coffee.
Okay.
By tuning into these sensory details, you're bringing yourself fully into the present moment.
It's like transforming writing from a purely mental exercise into a full-body experience.
It is.
I can almost feel the stress melting away just thinking about it.
Right.
You can also try incorporating mindful pauses into your writing routine.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Set a timer for 5 minutes and simply focus on your breath. Observe the rise and fall of your chest.
Yeah.
The sensation of air entering and leaving your nostrils.
Okay.
It's a quick reset for your mind.
Those mindful moments sound like a great way to de-stress and recharge,
They are.
especially during a busy day.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about connection.
Connection.
We all know the power of a heartfelt letter or email,
Right.
but are there other creative ways to use writing to nurture our relationships?
Definitely.
Right.
You could start a shared journal with a friend or loved one
Oh,
where you exchange thoughts, dreams, and experiences.
okay.
Or try writing a collaborative story where
Wow.
each person contributes a chapter or scene. It's a fun way to connect and get those creative juices flowing.
I love those ideas.
Yeah.
It's like turning writing into a shared adventure.
It is.
Finally, let's talk about celebrating wins.
Okay.
It's easy to get caught up in the daily grind and forget to acknowledge our accomplishments.
Right.
How can we make celebrating wins a part of our writing practice?
One simple practice is to end each writing session by acknowledging what you accomplished,
Okay.
no matter how small.
Right.
Write down one thing you're proud of,
Oh.
one thing you learned, or one step you took forward.
Great.
It reinforces a sense of progress and accomplishment.
I love that.
Yeah,
It's like giving ourselves a well-deserved pat on the back in writing.
it is.
It's a great reminder that even small steps are worth celebrating.
Absolutely.
And by weaving these habits into our writing practice, we're not just improving our writing, we're enriching our lives as a whole.
We are.
This deep dive has been so inspiring. It feels like we've uncovered a whole new toolkit for cultivating happiness both in our writing and in our lives.
Yeah.
I'm walking away with a renewed sense of purpose and excitement about putting these ideas into action.
That's great.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into writing for happiness.
It was my pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, we hope you feel empowered to pick up a pen, open a laptop, and start writing your own stories of happiness.
Yeah.
Until next time, keep diving deep and keep writing.